Okay, so we got to talk about SMCI or super microcomputer because there's a massive misunderstanding in the markets right now when it comes to the stock. And that's a great thing because when there's discrepancies in the markets and an investor can identify those discrepancies versus valuation, then there's opportunity to make a lot of money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me explain this. So a lot of people are ignoring or dismissing SMCI right now because of all the drama that's been in the news lately. This has to do with accounting practices. EY dropped them as an auditor, and there's potentially a delisting risk for the stock. And yes, those are things that should be taken into consideration. But when you start diving into them and actually start understanding them, and then also look at the financials of the company, their position in the AI revolution, you start to see something happening here that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because all of this uncertainty in the market has essentially caused the stock to panic and plummet like 70-80%, and it's trading at a really low valuation right now, fundamentally. But I believe that was a huge overreaction to the news. And I think that once this uncertainty gets cleared up, we could see a big run up, and it could happen soon. So today, that's what I'm going to cover and dive a little deeper into what's exactly going on with SMCI to give you guys a really clear and simple picture of the situation and how I think there's a big opportunity to make some real money here. So I'm going to be breaking down what SMCI actually does for those of you that don't know or are not familiar with the company, why I think it's a hidden gem right now in terms of opportunity in the market, and a brief snapshot of the financials, and finally how I'm personally going to play this today. So if you get any value from this, please hit the like. That's all I ask. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much. Let's dive in. Okay, so Supermicro is essentially just a global leader in terms of AI infrastructure. So they provide servers, storage systems, and cloud computing solutions to the biggest players in the space right now. So what the hell does this actually mean? I'm going to explain. AI is growing extremely fast, and companies like OpenAI, Google, Microsoft need to run massive amounts of computational power. And they cannot do that without the physical infrastructure. So SMCI essentially just builds and provides that physical infrastructure that enables these companies to run their models. Without them, they cannot run anything. They literally just need the physical to run the non-physical that allows these companies to be able to run their insane models and computational power that they need. SMCI is directly partnered with NVIDIA, which is the largest and biggest by far player in the AI space, and they use their GPUs directly in the systems, which is a massive deal. So when people are talking about ChatGPT and how cool it is, they actually forget what's happening behind the scenes, and that's that whole physical infrastructure that it needs to run. And that's what Supermicro provides and builds. And yet, despite this insane position that they have in the AI revolution, their stock has been getting beat down by a lot. So let's talk about why that's going on. Okay, so this stock has been under quite a bit of fire in the news for the past few months now. So let me give you a quick breakdown of this drama that's been going on in the news regarding the stock. Firstly, in August 2024, a short seller firm, Heidelberg Research, released a report accusing them of accounting manipulations and undisclosed related party transactions, basically saying that they were doing some dodgy stuff. But SMCI quickly denied all of the allegations and basically said that, hey, that's misleading, like we're not doing that at all. But then things got worse. In October 2024, their auditor, Ernst & Young, EY, resigned, choosing no longer to work with SMCI because they had basically concerns over the transparency of the financials of the company. So this immediately sent the stock tanking down, and it just caused a lot of uncertainty because EY is particularly a really trusted firm. So this created a lot of uncertainty in the markets, and the stock sold off really hard. And if all that wasn't enough, SMCI has been really late to filing their financial reports with the SEC, which has put them in a position of potential delisting from the NASDAQ. They do have an extension until February 25th to file with the SEC, or else they get delisted. But there's an update on that later. Okay, so now that we know all this drama, there's a couple things to know about all that negative news on the company. Firstly, Heidelberg Research is literally out of business. They are not a thing anymore. They just announced that they're gonna shut down the firm. Secondly, they're a known short seller firm, so they release bad reports on a ton of companies and just short the hell out of them and try to make money. They're not exactly unbiased. That's first. Secondly, SMCI actually ran an independent investigation with a special committee to say like, hey, we didn't actually do any of the stuff that you're saying that we did. So this third-party committee actually conducted a very thorough third-party investigation of their accounting, and they found no evidence of malpractice within their accounting. On top of this, they didn't find any facts that supported the resignation of EY. They really just couldn't find a single thing. And this report says all of that. Now, that being said, this drama has caused a lot of uncertainty and confusion, which I think caused a massive overreaction. Now, if we stay calm and actually take a look at what's going on, this is where the opportunity comes in, because financially, SMCI has a lot of growth and a lot of potential, and it's not doing bad, given that the financials are actually true. But that's beside the point. I think they are. We're about to find out soon. What are the actual fundamentals and financials of this company actually saying? So I ran some valuation models using ChatGPT. I can show you how to do this in another video. I'm more than happy to do that. But basically, all of them point to a big undervaluation based on where they stand financially, given the financials are actually true. So running a few different valuation models on SMCI actually brings us to a conclusion of an estimated fair value range of $50 to $65 on the financials alone. That's without any of the uncertainty and without any of the drama. Right now, the stock market is pricing in all of this uncertainty, and that's why it's so low. But to be honest, they have really strong financials and a lot of growth. AI demand is only going to go up, and it seems to be undervalued on a financial standpoint. Okay, so here's where it gets juicy and why I am making this video right now. Remember that February 25th deadline that I mentioned? Well, a couple of days ago, SMCI came out and said that they're going to do a business update on February 11th, 2025 at 5 p.m. So this is much earlier than the anticipated deadline, and they're calling it essentially an earnings. Now, this is such a huge deal because this report can essentially bring that much needed clarity and certainty back into the stock. One thing I've learned throughout my many years in investing is that the market moves heavily based on uncertainty versus certainty. And right now we have a stock that's very uncertain, and that has been priced into the stock price. But now finally, it looks like we're going to get some much needed clarity on the stock, which could really send this stock really high. I think regardless of the numbers, if it's good or bad, and I think they're going to be good, this report is actually just going to bring certainty back into the markets, and that's going to cause a huge run up in valuation. Investors' confidence gets restored and money flows in. That's what happens all the time. Now, there's obviously risk associated with this. I'm not saying at all just go buy the stock blindly, because I'm telling you, I'm actually just not giving any financial advice at all. Do your own research. I'm just simply pointing out my thesis and why I think that there's a discrepancy in valuation versus what the market says versus what it actually should be, and my reasons for that. Okay, so to wrap it all up, here's the situation that we have in our hands right now. We have a fundamentally strong company with a really good position in a really fast growing industry that is just going through a lot of uncertainty and drama right now. And this to me is a clear recipe for opportunity. Uncertainty does not equal bad stock. It just means there's no investor confidence. So with all that being said, in full transparency, I do have a position in SMCI, but that's all within my own personal risk parameters, as you should do your own risk parameters. Obviously, there's a ton of risk involved. They could get delisted, a bunch of things could happen, and yeah, you can very well lose money. So it's not just a risk-free thing. All I'm trying to say here about SMCI is that I think, based on my thesis, that there's opportunity here. That is it. I for sure would love to know what you guys are thinking about this stock right now. Are you avoiding it? Are you also playing it? What are you doing with it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Let me know in the comments below, and I would love to start a discussion. But yeah, that's it. If you got any value from this video, I appreciate it if you hit the like button and potentially consider subscribing. I think I'm going to start doing videos like this on certain things that I see value in and share that with you guys, because I do this on my own anyway. So I thought might as well share it with the world. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.